Let's start with something surprisingly common. Crocodile. At first glance it sounds exotic, but in parts of Australia, Thailand, South Africa, and even the southern United States, crocodile meat is widely available. The meat is lean, high in protein, and surprisingly mild. Many people describe it as a mix between chicken and fish. The tail is considered the best cut because it's tender and contains very little fat. But crocodile consumption goes back much further than modern restaurants. For thousands of years, indigenous Australians hunted crocodiles as part of traditional diets. In many regions, nothing went to waste. The meat was eaten. The skin was used. Even bones could serve practical purposes. Today, crocodile has become something entirely different, a luxury menu item. And that's a surprising transformation for an animal most people would rather avoid than eat. But crocodiles aren't the only reptiles on the menu, because in parts of Asia, another cold-blooded predator has been eaten for centuries. Snake meat has a history stretching back thousands of years, particularly in China, Vietnam, and parts of Southeast Asia. Historically, snakes were often associated with strength and vitality. Traditional medicine sometimes attributed health benefits to consuming them. Whether those claims are true is another story. But the cultural significance remains. The meat itself is surprisingly firm. Many people compare it to chicken, although slightly chewier. Larger species contain more meat and are often grilled, fried, or added to soups. What most people don't realize is that snake restaurants became popular in southern China long before exotic food tourism existed. For many communities, snakes were simply another available source of protein. Today, visitors often seek them out as a novelty. Historically, they were simply dinner. But if eating a snake sounds unusual, wait until we move from reptiles to giant spiders. In Cambodia, fried tarantulas became famous for a very unusual reason: war. During the Khmer Rouge era, food shortages forced many communities to become resourceful. People began collecting and eating tarantulas to survive. Over time, necessity became tradition. Today, fried tarantulas are sold openly in markets throughout parts of Cambodia. The preparation is simple: seasoning, hot oil, crunch. The exterior becomes crispy, while the inside remains soft. Some people compare the flavor to crab. Others say it tastes closer to chicken. But here's the thing. Most tourists are focused on the legs. Locals often consider the abdomen the best part. And that's usually where foreign visitors become nervous. Yet tarantulas are mild compared to the next animal, because this one actually carries venom. Few foods look more intimidating than a scorpion on a stick. Yet in parts of China, Thailand, and Vietnam, scorpions have been eaten for generations. Night markets often display them skewered and deep-fried. The heat neutralizes the venom, leaving behind a crunchy snack. The flavor is often described as nutty, sometimes similar to shrimp shells. Historically, insects and small arthropods played an important role in regions where larger livestock was difficult to raise. Protein was protein, and scorpions provided it. Today they remain one of the most photographed street foods in Asia. But what most people don't realize is that insects are actually eaten by billions of people worldwide. Which brings us to another creature that surprises many Western visitors. Silkworms helped build one of history's most important trade routes, the Silk Road. For centuries, China produced silk by raising silkworms. After the silk was harvested, enormous numbers of silkworm pupae remained. Rather than wasting them, people ate them. The result became a traditional snack still enjoyed today, particularly in Korea and China. In South Korea, they're known as baeondegi, often sold by street vendors. The flavor is earthy and nutty. The texture soft and slightly chewy. What started as a practical way to avoid waste became a cultural food tradition. And that's a pattern you'll see repeatedly throughout history. Many unusual foods weren't created for adventure. They were created by necessity. Few examples demonstrate that better than our next animal. To many people, guinea pigs are pets. In parts of Peru and Ecuador, they're dinner. Known as cuy, guinea pigs have been raised in the Andes for thousands of years, long before Europeans arrived in South America. Ancient Inca communities relied on them as an efficient food source. They required little space, they reproduced quickly, and they provided valuable protein in mountainous regions where large livestock wasn't practical. Today, roasted guinea pig remains an important part of celebrations and festivals. The skin becomes crispy. The meat is rich and flavorful. Some compare it to rabbit. Others compare it to dark chicken meat. For local communities, it's not unusual at all. It's tradition. But now we're heading from the mountains of South America to one of the oldest foods on Earth. Ants have been eaten by humans for thousands of years, and in places like Colombia, giant leafcutter ants are considered a delicacy. These ants are collected during specific seasons when queen ants emerge for mating flights. Historically, indigenous communities viewed them as both food and medicine. Today, they're often roasted and salted, creating a snack that resembles crunchy nuts. The flavor surprises many first-time eaters. Nutty, smoky, almost buttery. What most people don't realize is that ants contain significant amounts of protein and minerals. And unlike traditional livestock, they require very few resources. Some scientists even believe insects could become a major food source in the future, which makes our final animal especially fascinating, because millions of people already eat it without realizing how unusual it seems to outsiders. Frog legs have been part of French cuisine for centuries. But France isn't alone. They're also popular in China, Indonesia, Vietnam, and several other countries. The meat is delicate, tender, often compared to a cross between chicken and fish. In medieval Europe, monks reportedly classified frogs as fish rather than meat. That allowed them to eat frog legs during religious fasting periods. Whether that was clever interpretation or creative loophole depends on who you ask. Today, frog legs remain a symbol of French cuisine worldwide, yet most French people rarely eat them, which is one of the biggest misconceptions surrounding the dish. And perhaps that's the most interesting thing about all the animals we've seen today. Some started as survival food, some became luxury foods, and some became cultural symbols so powerful that entire countries are still associated with them hundreds of years later.